You place the teacup by the window like every rainy afternoon. Steam was dancing through the silence to an old forgotten tune. You smiled across the little table, but your eyes were somewhere else. Love can leave before it's spoken, without announcing it to anyone. I watched the jasmine slowly fading, petal by delicate petal. Funny how the smallest changes always hurt the most. We still wore our wedding laughter like actors finishing the play. No one in the room could notice we were breaking anyway. We're broken porcelain hearts, holding on with careful hands. Tiny cracks beneath the surface, only we could understand. We still shine beneath the candlelight, still beautiful from far away. But every quiet little fracture carries yesterday. Broken porcelain hearts don't always make a sound. Your coat still hung beside the doorway. Your books remained upon the shelf. Nothing in our little apartment looked different from anyone else. You asked me how my day had been. I answered with a gentle smile. Two people speaking perfectly across an endless mile. The record spun another slow song. The trumpet cried behind the rain. Even music couldn't hide the spaces growing in our names. Love rarely leaves the slammed doors or words too cruel to forgive. Sometimes it simply forgets how to live. We're broken porcelain hearts, balanced on a thread of grace, still pretending every morning nothing's fallen out of place. If I hold you any tighter, will the pieces stay as one, or will they slip like scattered moonlight before the night is done? Broken porcelain hearts still remember how to love. I could have shouted, you could have cried. Instead we folded our sorrow into polite conversations, warm tea, gentle smiles. Drive home safely, sleep well, I'll see you tomorrow. Neither of us knew tomorrow had already left. The last dance isn't the one where two people let go. It's the one where they're still holding each other, already knowing they should. The orchestra began a slow swing. The chandeliers were burning low. You reached your hand across the silence, like we still had somewhere to go. Your smile was gentle, almost careful. Mine was practiced, calm and small. We looked exactly like two lovers to everyone inside the hall. The waiter poured another vintage crystal, caught the amber light. Even happiness can look convincing for just one more dance tonight. You asked if I was doing well. I answered better every day. We both knew neither one of us believed a word we'd say. We're dancing around the truth, like the band will never stop, turning with familiar footsteps, afraid the music's all we've got. If we keep moving slowly, maybe heartbreak won't break through. One more spin beneath the spotlight before the silence finds me in you. Dancing around the truth until the final note. The trumpet carried old blue echoes. The piano whispered in between. Every chord became a question about the life we'd almost dreamed. Your hand still fit inside of mine, like no time had passed at all. But comfort isn't always love, sometimes it's just recall. Outside, the river flowed forever. Inside, the dancers drifted by. Funny how a crowded ballroom can still feel empty inside. You almost said I still love you. I almost said the very same. Instead we thanked each other kindly and called it fate. We're dancing around the truth that neither heart could fully heal, smiling for the watching strangers, hiding everything we feel. Every step avoids the answer, every turn delays goodbye, until the song grows tired enough to finally let us cry. Sometimes the kindest thing two people can do is stop asking love to become what it no longer is. Not every ending needs another chance. Some endings only need a graceful dance. You kiss my hand, you kiss my hand for the last time. Neither of us looked back, we didn't need to. The music had already told us everything. Some letters aren't meant to be read forever. They're meant to become something that can finally fly. I opened up the cedar drawer where time had settled like the dust. Bundles tied with faded ribbon, holding promises and us. Your handwriting leaned like ivy across each yellowed, fragile page. Every word was once tomorrow, now they're souvenirs of age. The ink had softened into blue, like the evening after rain. Funny how forgotten sentences can still remember pain. I could have burned them one by one and watched the smoke erase our years. Instead I chose a gentler ending, with careful hands and quiet tears. Letters folded into cranes, learning how to leave my hands. Every fragile little wing carries dreams it understands. I'm not throwing love away, I'm teaching it to fly. Some memories deserve the sky, not another last goodbye. Letters folded into cranes, floating out of yesterday. One became the spring we planted, one became that autumn train, one became the night we danced, laughing softly in the rain. One became the tiny apartment where the windows faced the moon. One became the song we'd started and promised we'd finish soon. The last one held 3 simple words written in your hurried style. I'll be home, I smiled for the first time in a while. Some promises were broken, some were simply overtaken by time. That doesn't make them worthless, only human. Letters folded into cranes, resting gently on the breeze. Every fold a quiet blessing, every crease a memory. If they land where you are standing, don't unfold them anymore. Let them stay as little birds instead of open wounds. Letters folded into cranes. Finally found the wind. Love doesn't disappear, it changes shape. A photograph, a melody, a familiar scent, a favorite cafe, a paper crane resting on a windowsill. Perhaps healing isn't forgetting, perhaps healing is learning how to hold yesterday without asking it to become today. stories still to come, because even broken hearts can still believe another letter will begin with hello. Letters folded into cranes, disappearing into spring. I open the window one by one. They caught the wind for the first time. I didn't watch them leave, I watched them fly. The cafe hasn't changed at all. The same old clock, the same warm light. The waiter still remembers us, though you haven't been for quite some time. I found our favorite corner table, where winter always felt like spring. And someone placed a porcelain cup exactly where yours used to be. A faded crimson on the rim, barely visible today, still somehow brighter than the flowers that time has washed away. People think that memories live inside photographs and frames, but sometimes they remain forever on the smallest everyday things. Lipstick on the teacup, like your goodbye never dried. One little mark of scarlet, holding years I couldn't hide. I traced the circle with my finger, where your laughter used to stay. It's funny how one quiet stain refuses to fade away. Lipstick on the teacup still knows your name. The pianist played our favorite standard without knowing who we'd been. Every chord reopened windows I'd carefully closed within. Outside, umbrellas across the street, light dancers dressed in black and gray. Inside, I ordered jasmine tea, the way you always did anyway. The sugar slowly disappeared without a single sound, just like all the little promises we never wrote down. I could wash this cup tomorrow until the porcelain shines new, but no amount of careful cleaning could ever rinse away you. Lipstick on the teacup, a perfect kiss without a face, the last small proof that love existed in this ordinary place. Every sip tastes just a little like the words we left unsaid. Some memories choose a heartbeat, some choose porcelain instead. Lipstick on the teacup still warms my hands. The cup will someday break, the cafe may close, the waiter may forget my order, the piano may fall silent, but love has a curious way of hiding inside the simplest objects, waiting for one quiet afternoon to be remembered again. Beautiful things deserve to be remembered. Lipstick on the teacup, even after the tea grows cold. The waitress reached for the cup. I smiled and shook my head. Please, leave it just a little longer. The curtain falls without a whisper. The final spotlight fades to blue. Empty glasses line the tables, like they stayed behind for you. The waiters stack the wooden chairs. The bartender counts the till. Only echoes fill the ballroom, where your laughter lingers still. My evening gown still catches diamonds from the chandelier above. Funny how a room can sparkle long after it loses love. Every song found someone dancing. Every smile earned one more cheer. But when the orchestra grows silent, the truth is all I hear. No applause tonight, just the piano and the rain. No strangers calling out my name to soften all this pain. The roses left beside the stage have slowly lost their bloom. Every standing ovation ends in an empty room. No applause tonight, only my heartbeat keeping time. I remove the pearls so gently, one by one into a case. The woman in the dressing mirror looks younger without the stage. The lipstick fades beneath a tissue. Mascara follows with a tear. Who am I when no one's watching? The silence answers clear. The pianist knocks upon the doorway, asking one more song before we go. I simply smile and shake my head. Some melodies need to rest. The audience loved every love song, believed each word I softly sang. They never knew I'd borrowed courage from every note the piano played. No applause tonight, no encore left to give. Some performances are beautiful because they end the way they lived, quietly. The stage forgets my footsteps by the time the morning comes, but somewhere in these velvet walls my voice will always hum. Perhaps we spend too much of life waiting for applause, for approval, for someone to tell us we were enough. Maybe peace begins the evening we bow to an empty room and still choose to sing. These lonely dreamers start, and maybe they'll discover the loudest cheers are sometimes heard inside a healing heart. No applause tonight, but hope gave me a standing ovation. Turned off the dressing room light, the ballroom disappeared into darkness. Only the piano remained, waiting for tomorrow's first note. Every evening at 7:30, the kettle softly starts to sing. I still pour 2 cups of jasmine without thinking anything. The little chair beside the window faces where you used to sit. Sunlight fades across the table, but I haven't moved it yet. Your favorite record fills the silence, crackling like an old postcard. Funny how an empty dining room can feel impossibly crowded. The calendar keeps turning pages, the seasons quietly rearrange. Everything around this little home has learned to change, except me. There's one chair still waiting, like the night is holding its breath, saving one more place for someone who quietly already left. Every candle burns for 2, though only one shadow remains. Some habits become prayers, some prayers become pain. One chair still waiting for a knock that never came. teacup sits upon the shelf. Its tiny crack still catches light. I almost packed it in a box, but somehow couldn't say goodbye. Neighbors wave from down the hallway, asking if you're working late. I simply smile and nod politely. Some truths can quietly wait. The flowers by the kitchen window bloom exactly every spring. They never asked who's missing now, they simply keep blooming. The piano plays the same old melody that used to make us softly sway. Now it only keeps the lonely company until the break of day. There's one chair still waiting across this polished wooden floor. Every meal begins with hope and ends with wanting more. If absence had a photograph, it would look just like this room, where love still wears your silhouette like your favorite perfume. One chair still waiting, refusing to let go. People tell me you should move it, as if furniture is the problem. They don't understand, it's not the chair, it's the space you left behind. And somehow those are never the same thing. Dun, 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 dun. There's one chair still waiting, though I finally learned a train won't arrive. It's no longer waiting for your footsteps, it's waiting for me to forgive myself for believing love could never leave. One chair still waiting, but my heart is slowly standing up tonight. I cleared the second teacup, but I left the chair, not because I'm waiting for you, because I'm remembering us. Rain on Nanjing Road tonight turns the neon into stars. Every puddle holds reflections of lovers, taxis, passing cars. The tailor closed his little shop, the florist gathered up the blooms. The old cafe still glows the same, like it refuses to leave June. I walk the route we always wandered, past the bookstore by the square. Every window knew your silhouette, even when you weren't there. The city learned our footsteps before it learned our names. Now every corner softly hums the echo of those days. Rain on Nanjing Road washes every street but mine. It carries strangers safely ballroom, floating through the evening air. Couples hid beneath umbrellas while I danced with empty stares. The newspaper boy kept shouting tomorrow's headlines to the crowd, but nothing ever makes the front page change when a heart breaks quietly. The baker placed warm buns on shelves. The tram rolled slowly through the night. Life continued without asking if I was alright. Maybe that's the grace of cities. They never stop for broken dreams. They simply keep the lights alive until someone learns to breathe again. Rain on Nanjing Road paints silver rivers at my feet. Every shining reflection feels like another chance to meet. If I close my eyes for one more song, I almost hear you laugh again. Then the traffic pulls me back like it always can. Rain on Nanjing Road never falls alone. One day, someone else will walk these same sidewalks. They'll stop at the same cafe, stand beneath the same awning, fall in love under the same rain. The city will keep their story too, just as faithfully as it kept ours. Rain on Nanjing Road no longer feels so cold tonight. Every tear that touched the pavement caught a little bit of light. I cannot ask the rain to keep you or the city to stand still, but I can thank these quiet streets for teaching me that even broken hearts can find their way home. Rain on Nanjing Road became the road that led me back to myself. The rain finally eased, the neon still glowed, and for the first time in a long while I walked forward without looking back. You found a melody one evening on an old piano by the rain. I laughed and wrote the first few lyrics on a cafe paper napkin page. We promised we'd record it someday when life became a little slow. Funny how tomorrow always waited so could never go. The verses came like falling blossoms, gentle as the evening breeze. The chorus waited patiently for two hearts in harmony. You played the chords, I sang the silence, both pretending time would wait. We never thought an unfinished song could become our fate. The song we never finished still hums inside my soul. Every missing line reminds me some stories aren't meant to be whole. The final chorus never found us, the last note never touched the sky. Now every lonely piano asks me, how do you sing a goodbye? I found a notebook in a drawer, the corners warm, the pages curled, coffee rings and tiny scribbles from our small unfinished world. Your handwriting leaned into mine like dancers learning how to sway. Now every word stands by itself with nothing left to say. The melody still knows the way. My fingers haven't quite forgotten, but every time I reach the chorus, the room becomes too quiet. Perhaps some songs are not abandoned, they simply choose another time, waiting somewhere past our memories to finally find their rhyme. The song we never finished lies between the notes we missed. Every pause becomes an echo of a love we couldn't fix. I still hear your harmony floating just beyond the air, close enough to keep believing, too far to reach. Maybe we were never writing a love song. Maybe we were writing a memory that would someday teach us how beautiful an unfinished melody can become. The song we never finished no longer asks to be complete. Its broken chords and quiet silences have made it bittersweet. If another heart should hear it, let them write the ending true. I'll leave one page forever empty for the part that still belongs to you. The notebook closed, the piano lingered on one final suspended chord. It never resolved, neither did we. Your coat still hangs beside the doorway. The sleeves remember how you moved. The The collar bends just like it always did, where your fingers used to pull it smooth. Outside, the cherry trees are blooming. Children laugh beneath the sun. Funny how the world can change so quickly while one room stays undone. I should pack it in a cardboard box, fold the past and put it away. But every time I reach to touch it, my heart asks me to stay. People say that time is patient, that seasons teach us how to heal. Then why can one forgotten jacket still make everything feel real? Your coat still smells like winter, like snow that never touched the ground, like midnight walks through quiet streets where only our footsteps made a sound. I close my eyes and hold it close, just long enough to lose my breath. It's only wool and faded thread. Why does it still feel like you haven't left? I found a movie ticket in the pocket, folded small beside a train receipt. Two little pieces of an ordinary day that somehow now feel incomplete. The cafe stamp had almost vanished, the ink had faded into blue. But I remembered every conversation before I remembered the date. The muted trumpet from downstairs floated through the open window frame, playing something soft and lonely that sounded strangely like your name. Some memories arrive as photographs, some as songs we can't outgrow. But yours comes wrapped in wool and silence and the first cold wind of every November. Your coat still smells like winter, though spring has filled the sky with green. Every thread is holding on to everything we've ever been. Maybe since a tiny time machine, too gentle for the eye to see. One quiet breath, and suddenly you're standing next to me. I don't miss the arguments, the long nights, the empty promises. I miss reaching for your sleeve when the wind became too cold. I miss how ordinary happiness used to feel. Your coat still smells like winter, but my hands don't tremble anymore. I can finally hold the memory without begging it for more. Tomorrow I'll hang it in the sunlight, let the gentle breeze pass through, not to erase what still remains, but to thank it for carrying the last little pieces of you. I opened the window, spring drifted in.